We get too caught up in the idea of ourselves from other perspectives. I feel like we fail to acknowledge how important our perspective is and our perspective of where we are in our journey. I feel like a lot of people get caught up in this idea that they're behind. But my thing is, how can you be behind on your own journey? If you're chartering your path each day, each second, each interval, each present moment, how can you be behind? I think a lot of people put themselves in a place of lowness when they talk about where they are in regards to their goals, their passions, their aspirations. When I think they need to somewhat bring themselves either to the moment or to something better. It's too easy to get negative. It's too easy to live in a reality where what you're doing doesn't contribute to who you are, but everything does. Because everything matters. And everything is you. Everything is an expression. And how you feel about yourself is how you feel about the world. It's not necessarily about where you are in reference to others. It's where you are in reference to yourself. And when I say yourself, I don't necessarily just mean your past. I mean you in the present. Are you conscious enough to realize when you're allowing yourself to be down? Are you conscious enough to realize when, what you're doing and what you're thinking does not contribute to who you are and when you need to do something else? That's when I feel like people need to really take that step and be conscious with themselves. The mind is a sponge. And I'm coming to realize more and more how important it is how we feel about what we do and how we are. It doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter what, possessions you have, what you possess with material, all this stuff. It matters how you feel about yourself at the end of the day and what you do and how it contributes to who you are and how you feel. And I feel like I keep saying the same thing over and over again, but that's because I feel like it's important. We live in a generation, in a society that's so bent on, comparison. This idea that, oh, they're doing this, I should be doing this. And to some extent, if you want to get the same thing, you should, partially true. But in regards to how you are and where you feel like you should be in regards to your own growth and who you are, there is no comparison. There is nobody like you. There is no other you, so who is there to compare? No one is you. No one takes up the space you take up. No one sees the world from your viewpoint. And that's also why it's important to be a friend to yourself and be kind to yourself. If you're the only person that understands yourself 100% of the time, even not even that, if you're the only person who can see your inner workings, then you have to be the only person who can appreciate those inner workings to the extent that you can. Other people can look at you, they can gaze upon what you are, and they can tell you you're great. And you can internalize that, you can live with that, but as soon as that type of stimulus goes away, then what? You're left in a place of lowness. If you place your foundation in someone other than yourself, in something other than yourself, then you open yourself to collapse. And that's why I feel like it's important to ground your foundation in yourself. Because you're all that is for you, And I'm not saying that in a selfish way. I'm not saying that in a way that, other people don't matter or this doesn't matter, that doesn't matter. It's about realizing that you matter. That's really all it is. And, I feel like people don't take the time to realize that everything they do is already impacting their life. Everything you do in each passing moment, the way you feel about yourself, the way you're thinking about what you're doing, how you're using your time is already contributing to the life you have left ahead of you. Everything counts. It's about the law of accumulation. Each tiny successive step leads to a better future. And you have to be intentional with the way you take those steps. Otherwise, you're going to be left in a place where you feel like it might not be characteristic of you. That's why I feel like it's so important to realize that, he who thinks the journey is over is truly lost. And you can't be behind on your own journey. I feel like these two kind of live in a unity. You can't be done with your journey. You can't necessarily feel like you're 100% finished with cultivating who you are, because that's when I feel like you come within the realm of connotation. When you're being stagnant, when you're being still, I feel like that's when that type of negativity of the world kind of gets to you in a way that is not beneficial. Once you allow yourself to be solid, allow yourself to be labelable, put yourself in that cup, then you can truly attribute characteristics to yourself. Negative ones, that is. But what I'm realizing is, if you allow yourself to be more fluid, allow the definition of yourself to keep on expanding, you'll realize how beautiful life can really be. One must be an ocean in order to take the world's negativity and not come out polluted. That's some cynical quote, I think. It's something along those lines. But essentially, it's saying you have to be vast. Your understanding of yourself can't be a finite thing. It can't be something relative to something other than yourself. You have to keep on expanding this definition and your appreciation for yourself and the world around you. Otherwise, you're going to become stagnant. And in our stagnation, I feel like there's nothing left to gain. Sometimes you just have to look outside and realize how beautiful it is. Sometimes you have to look in the mirror and just tell yourself you look good. You have to give that unconditional love to yourself without expecting something in return. Self-love isn't about getting something in return. It's not about doing this so all of a sudden, you feel better. It's about actually genuinely trying to love yourself. Actually genuinely trying to put that work into yourself and make yourself a better person, not just for you, but for everyone and everything you do. I found out that the more you appreciate yourself, the more you learn to love yourself, the more everything becomes an expression of that love. And that warmth, that feeling that you get just by allowing yourself to be something you appreciate. Like, I think it came to me when I realized how much I like the way I think. And I know it might sound like egotistical in a way. I hope it doesn't come off that way, but just the way I handle situations now compared to who I was before, or the way I handle situations in general compared to now, I just have learned to understand and appreciate the way at which I want to express myself, and I've been conscious and intentional enough to exemplify that and do it. It's entirely different when you're able to embody the way you want to see the world and the way you want to react to it. Because we all live in our own personal heaven or hell. And it gets really hard to just, try to balance those worlds without actually trying to put in any conscious effort. Some negative things are going to be thrown your way, and it's about the way you digest them. It's about the way you get them out of your system. I've had a couple situations recently that kind of helped me understand my growth a bit better, because I was put in a situation, I should have almost crashed out or something like that. But I found myself just being calm about it. I found myself just not taking it personal, because things are as they are, and not everything is inherent to me. Only things I take personal are the things I wish to take personal. That's what making life intimate is about. It's not necessarily taking everything as it comes, but taking the things that you want to take as they come. Being intentional with the way you give your attention and give your energy, because those are the most important things, and energy is as valuable as gold. Think about how much we as a society do stuff for attention, do stuff for other reactions. And I feel like we perceive attention as affection in a way, when in reality it's not. It's just attention. Affection is intentional. And that's why I feel like it's about your intention, not attention, but your intention. And if you're intentional with where you give your attention and energy, it'll flow to that direction. It's always about intention. And it's also about, cultivating a good perspective. You can't just walk around in life and allow I guess you can allow it to change, but you can't allow it to hold you back. You have to realize the times in which your perspective might be holding you back. And yesterday, I did some stuff. I went on my comfort zone. I had to help with my friends, though. It's very important to have not necessarily a great friend group, but, people around you that kind of push you to discover new parts of yourself. As much as I stress that it's a solo battle, Sometimes we need others. And it's not necessarily in the sense of a personal 1v1 relationship, but in the sense of, all the information I get, all the information anybody gets isn't just from themselves. We all have to stand on the shoulders of giants sometimes in order to be us. And that's not to say that everyone's built by other people, but to say how we build ourselves is reflective of the information we're able to get and consume. It's about being appreciative of everything that contributes to you, not being selfish or not being arrogant enough to think that you can't get help from other people. I say help yourself because I'm not saying help yourself because we shouldn't accept help from others, but help yourself because we don't get help from ourselves often. I'm not saying be intentional with how you give your energy to say, or be intentional with giving energy to yourself and how you feel about yourself to say, don't listen to others. I'm saying listen to yourself. I feel like these things aren't mutually exclusive. You can learn to love yourself while accepting love from other people. It's not a one-way battle, and sometimes it helps. But all in all, it's about, being comfortable with your path, being comfortable with yourself, and realizing that, how things work out is truly up to you. It's about the way you think about it, the way you feel about it. So it's just about, putting on a smile sometimes. And I realize that, sometimes, it's just about holding on to that positive intention. Smiling at the world sometimes just because you can. I feel like a lot of times we disregard the beauty of the world and the beauty around us simply because we've seen it all the time. Like, I walked outside today and I was just like, it's a beautiful day. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be alive in this day. I feel like it's something we often take for granted. You just have to sometimes hold yourself firmly. Hold yourself firmly in this idea that, you are a person and you do exist and you take up space. So you might as well use it. But make sure the space you're taking up, make sure everything within your vicinity is going to be reflective of the way you feel about you. The better you feel about yourself, the better you feel about life. Do that meditation. Do those affirmations. Tell yourself you love yourself. It's just these certain things I feel like, I say it all the time, not really telling y'all what to do, but telling you what y'all should do. At least what works for me. I feel like it gets to a point where you realize how addicted we are to not just reactions, but emotion. Sometimes we want to be angry, and I feel like sometimes it's not necessary. I feel like society or the world, I don't know, has told us to be a certain way. And sometimes we express ourselves in ways that aren't befitting of ourselves. Sometimes you don't have to react with anger. And sometimes you don't have to give in to your temptation about certain things. Realize that, sometimes it stems from other stuff that you need to address within yourself. That's what's important. Being conscious enough to realize the parts of you that seek out change. The parts of you that are trying to not necessarily escape from you, but the parts of you that need renovation. The parts of you that are trying to become better. Because at the end of the day, it's about that 1%. So my friend Mikey, if he's watching this, I don't think he's watching, but on his whiteboard calendar, it says 1% better every day. He has gym on every single day as like a check box. He's working out every day. Props to him. But it's just about that little stuff you do for yourself. The little instantiations of your care. Realize what your care looks like. Realize what your affection looks like. Oh, I'm taking care of myself. Oh, I should feel that. Oh, I know I love myself. I feel loved by myself because I'm doing these things that contribute to me. And it's about the appreciation you give to the things that you want to be appreciated. If you give gratitude to something, if you give appreciation, if you give love to it, then it won't matter what other people do. It's just about you and your subject. Your attention, your energy, your art. Yeah. I feel like I'm ranting. But I don't know. That's what I feel like the main point is. To deepen your understanding and broaden your perspective. There's so much left in this world and there's so much information to get. I started watching movies more intentionally. I have like a watch list. I started watching like lectures and stuff that's not just philosophy, but just broadening my understanding of the way people interact, romance, science, mythology, anything that we could do. And all in all, it's just about your continual progression. You can't leave anything behind if you don't move forward. And sometimes it's about getting in that uncomfortability. I feel like that's where we grow the most, in the unknown, in a period, in a place where we don't know what's gonna happen, but we're gonna have that positive intention. Holding that good feeling in your heart just to keep moving. And if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. It might have felt like I was going on a tangent. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if I cooked or not. But all in all, thank you so much. I really appreciate each and every one of y'all who watch these videos, especially those of you who watch them consistently. I don't know. I feel like this whole thing it's been a very interesting concept to me, and the whole idea of like documenting my thoughts is kind of crazy still. But all in all, thank you guys. Keep being intentional. Keep taking care of yourself. You only have you, and you is all you have. So take care of that only thing that you possess. Yeah. Keep being you. Keep being great. Take care of yourself. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you didn't, I did. So yeah, I should be. Oh wait, it's Mother's Day when I drop this. Tell your moms Happy Mother's Day, man. If your mother's along with you, I'm sorry for your loss. Honestly, still appreciate just being here. And what else can I say? Oh, and I'm supposed to be